All right, I'm gonna grab the steamer. We'll start here. So I put the steamer on, leave it in the same spot for a while, let the steam really penetrate in, and typically it'll start to puff back up. It's just opening the cells of the foam back up, okay? That have been crushed down. You know, the foam didn't look that bad, you know, starting into it, but you see how much its shape has changed just over the lifetime of the seat of getting in and out. So, you know, a brand new foam, you know, would start, you know, that high again, and you know, with it that far up. So if we were to put this new cover on the foam before it steamed or without putting a new foam in it, you saw how much lower this was. Your steam that runs down the side is gonna be further down the foam instead of sitting right on top of this ridge like it's supposed to, okay? A lot of that will, you know, with it mashed down like that, you're gonna get extra slack on the sides because when it goes into clip on, you don't have as much space filling that cover up. So it's gonna, you know, people are like, oh, you know, it's loose or baggy on the side. Well, it's because you know, the foam needs to be addressed. You know, you need to do something with the foam. You either make sure, you know, if it's pretty low mileage and something happened to the foam and, you know, the cover and you want to replace it, definitely steam it out. If it's, you know, 80,000 miles or more or something like that, you probably want to really look at replacing it if you're planning on keeping it. If you're trying to patch it up, sell it, you can glue some extra foam over the top of it. It's kind of a little temporary patch. But the best thing is going to be replacing the foam for it. So we'll steam that out. We'll come steam this side. You don't want to just rip through it real fast because it's not going to do anything. So give it some time to really penetrate in, and you'll see it expand out. When it stops expanding, move to the next, you know, move down and, you know, another inch. Let it really penetrate in there. You're definitely gonna get some moisture in the foam, so you don't want to just slap the cover right on it afterwards and let it dry out. I usually take a compressor and blow air on it, really dry it out real good. You can set it out with a fan on it, or let it get all the, you know, the moisture out of the foam. You don't want to lock all that moisture into the seat. So get all this going. Across the back. There we go. All right, you can steam some of the center part too. I'm going to take this piece off here, and we'll get to steam in that center here in just a second. Turn this off for a second. Okay. So now this pad that's sitting on top is for the heated and cooled, okay? So, or actually heated and ventilated seat. If you don't have the heated and cooled, you just have heated. The heater, it'll just have a heating pad that's just sticks down to the foam. So you won't see this big pad. You'll just see a you know, white heating pad on it if you just have heated. But there's a blower motor underneath here. There's two 10mm nuts. We're gonna pull that thing off. So if you were to got a new foam and you want to transfer everything over to the, and grab that sucker. Transfer your AC piece over to it. Here, we're going to step down. You'll need to take the blower motor off and remove that this white piece on top. Because your new foam, the dealer sells it in components. So the pad onto this part on top, this whole piece right here, it's a separate part number than the foam. It doesn't come in one assembly. So you get to purchase more stuff. So you get to buy another piece from it. But there's usually nothing wrong with the original one, so you don't have to worry about changing it. Okay, so we got to 2 clip push tabs here. So I'm gonna take my needle nose. We had 2 10mm nuts at the front. This is where the blower motor is. The blower motor's housed in between the foam and the frame. So we got 2 of these pinch tabs, just kind of like the original wiring harness to the floorboard. We're gonna pinch that. We'll pressure on underneath. Same thing here, pinch both sides. That'll come through, okay? So now, here's our blower motor. That'll go back on there in a second. Went up through that hole. The wire went up right through there, okay? So we'll move that to the side. Lay that down. Here's this piece. Now this also, let's take this other clip off on the back. So here's the wire coming from the back that's going to, so you get the blower motor to the front, but you got the wire connection here. It's going to this tab here. We're gonna pry that piece off so that we can move the pan completely out of the way. So, pry this little guy, boom, voila. Okay, now we got this piece, okay? This is just glued down. There's a couple spots it's glued. You got a spot here and across the back. There's some adhesives, just some sticky stuff on the bottom, peels on there. This will peel off. You can just peel the stuff off, okay? Keep this piece, take your new foam, sticks right back down onto it. If the sticky isn't holding, you can put a little shot of spray adhesive, you know, across the back, you know, a shot there, maybe a shot on these corners. You know, you don't need to coat the whole thing, just hit a couple shots. Because once you put the cover on, the cover's hooking down in all these seams. This thing's not gonna move because the cover's holding it in place where it can't slide around. So this piece is, so like I said, the blower motor hooks to it, it blows air through it. This is a sealed bag, okay? It's got what they call 3D spacer fabric in the middle of it. So it's a 1/2 inch thick, and it's basically what goes on the tongue of like a tennis shoe. So your shoes breathe and stuff like that. Same thing, but just on a lot larger, grander scale. Looks like fishing wire that goes in between these two, the top and the bottom. They have this kind of a knit, you know, honeycomb looking weave rig here. So it lets air blow through it, but this bag is sealed. However, there's particular holes throughout the top of this that allow the air to blow through. So it distributes the air from the front of the seat to the back of the seat. So that's what this bladder is. The heating pad is these couple pieces stuck on top of this bladder with the 3D spacer fabric. So new cover, new foam, pull this thing off, stick it to the new one. If you're not changing it, you're seaming out, leave it the same. This can stay the same. You don't need to undo the blower motor and all this jazz because it'll stay the same, put the new cover on it. So if you are changing it, that's how that changes. So I'm gonna throw the frame back on it. Front. Okay, let's hook this. This just pushes on. There's a couple little tabs that snap in. Nothing crazy. Feeding that wire through this hole. It's just gonna go to this connection here. I can go and connect it back. There we go. Okay. Now we got the 2 front 10 mils. We need to line those up. We'll just start one. Just a couple turns on there so it's in place. That guy there. You can reach through here and pull up to snap these into place. There we go. I don't want to torque the hell out of these. Just turn your impact down or just. There we go. Okay. That's back in place. We're going to hook this back on. Just push tabs. Okay. Perfect. All right. All right, now we're going to grab the bottom cover and get that sucker put on. All right, so here's our new cover. I'm going to flip it inside out, okay? So I'm going to turn, just fold the corners in. Okay. So now I'm going to turn the frame where the front's facing me. So this is the front. This is where your knees flop over, okay? Throw this on top. Okay, now I'm going to fold it back in half because I'm going to start with my 2 horizontal seams, okay? So I'm going to fold this back, okay? I got my horizontal strips. These are the ones that push in and clip, okay? These just push down straight into the foam. So I'm going to line this up. I can see my Velcro in the frame here, and I can also see my two seams here that have the fuzzy part of the Velcro on it there. So I want to make sure it's lined up, it's not too far left or right. Make sure they're centered, okay? And also these clips, they put them, these outer two, they put them really close to the edge, okay? So it needs to be lined up so that there's enough edge of the clip that's sewn to the cover to actually push in and clip into there. In my opinion, they should have moved them in, you know, another half-inch or so to give you a little more room to play with it, but you deal with what you got. So we're going to line this up over it where the center part of the seam is pretty much right over that line. These look pretty straight. We're going to push this down so it just lines up straight over it, push down, you hear it clip, okay? Same thing over here. Okay, there's that. Spin around, okay? Now I'm going to do this seam here. I'm going to also look down here and make sure this thing isn't turned cattywampus one way or the other. Looks straight, perf looks straight. Fold that back like here. Get that clip out of the way, fold that. Okay, that looks pretty good. Snap them in. There we go. Okay, so now that's looking set. So on the Velcro, I'm going to kind of do it in 3 stages of it. First, I'm going to set this section here, because we got these pieces that are snapped into the frame, okay? So I'm going to set, I just want to push from here to here is what I want to set. So I'm going to push this in, roll it down, and I'm going to push that in and connect there, just there to there. Same thing over here. Push in, make sure that's connected good there. Okay, so now on the front, doing the next section from this seam to the front, I want to hold a thumb here on right on that seam where this seam line hits there. I'm going to hold that. I'm going to make sure that none of this got, you know, attached. So I'm holding here. I'm going to grab the seam here on the other side. I'm going to pinch it here so I can hold it, or grab the front here. Holding there, I want to pull forward. I want to stretch this forward, okay? When I have it stretched forward, then I'm going to take this thumb, I'm going to start working it down that seam to attach it, okay? It's going to pull it tight. It's going to make sure that this, because, you know, if it can be, you know, half-assed back here and hooked on, you're going to get all this gathering and puckering and all this crap in there. You don't want that. So pull that up. We're already set from here to here. Hold thumb here. We're going to pull here. Pull tight, pulling forward, and then I'll work with thumb down that, attaching that seam, okay? So that seam, that's nice and tight there. And then I want to, same thing over here. Hand there. Pull forward. And with tension on the front, I want to run my hand down, attach that Velcro, okay? So now we're good from here forward. Same thing on the back. Start at the seam, hold your thumb on it, stretch this cover back, keeping tension here, run your hand along, get that Velcro set in there, okay? Same thing back here. Tension, slide back, okay. Now, everything looks pretty attached, looks pretty good. All right, now we'll roll the corners, okay? Everything's still inside out like this. Start in the corner, put my hand on the inside here, basically along the seam lines. I'm gonna put my hand on the outside, push in, and roll over. Always keep contact with the cover. Always have one hand on it, and then roll over like that, okay? You don't wanna do this crap, pull it here, and then start trying to tug it over, okay? You may rip something. It's a lot harder. You're gonna get a lot more ripples that you're gonna have to try to fix afterwards with steam and heat guns and all that jazz. Just keep some forward tension on it. Keep your hand on the inside of it. Always keep contact with the cover as you're rolling it over, okay? All the way down to there. That can pull over. Same thing over here. Hand on the inside. Push in on the foam. Let that wrap over all the way down. Constant contact all the way around the corner, okay? That's pretty good. Backs. We'll pull back. We'll roll that over a little bit. Okay, now we got that there, flip it over. If you're working on a hard surface, whatever, make sure you wipe it off, put a blanket down or something there. You want to make sure you don't have everything sharp in here that's going to nick this, because it's happened in a bunch. And it really sucks when you get it all finished and you find a nick in the new cover. So, Now we're going to start hooking our clips. We'll start in the front. This is going to roll over and push down. You're going to hear this clip and snap when it goes on. Okay, there's that. Then I'm going to do the back next. There's that. Work my way down the sides. They all roll over and go on. Okay, all that's on. Okay, now we'll look at our top, flip it back over. Everything should be nice and tight. What you want to do sometimes is making sure that our seams are lining up right on the edge. I'll start the front and back. Take my thumbs, start pushing the leather out. Okay, I want to push out, causing this little kind of a ripple here, this wave in the leather. And then with these fingers, I want to push in on the foam. I'm pushing that wave over, okay? And then when it's there, I want to kind of pull it back. So over, the material down, then now I'm pulling the foam back up into it, okay? Same thing, just work your way down. So I get this extra pinch of leather, okay? Basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to put this leather down on the side. So I'm pushing in on the foam, rolling that leather, I'm collapsing the foam with these fingers here, and then I'm trying to work this down, and then I'm pulling the foam back up into it. Okay. Do another side. Okay. That's all looking really good. If you had some different ripples in the foam or in the top cover, if there's lines going, this way or that way, that means you may have one part too far forward, like this Velcro. You might not have stretched it enough pulling it back when you hook it on. And then when this piece wraps around and clips, it's too far forward, because if you take a piece of material and move one side forward, one side back, you're going to get ripple lines in it, okay? So if you see that, you may look and see if it's something you can roll the edge and massage it out and pull it and smooth it. Or you may have to unclip it, come back, set your Velcro again, so move it forward. Sometimes the Velcro could be, one side could be a little bit, this side could be a little forward, this side could be a little back. You didn't pull it as much. Make sure it's all even. If there's ripples throughout it, typically you want to probably pull the clips off, try to reset your Velcro. But if you do it just like we walked through, holding your thumb there, pulling it, stretching it forward, attach, stretch forward, attach. Same thing on the back. You should be good. You shouldn't flip it over and have a bunch of ripples and crap in it, okay? If you do reset it, you can also do some adjustment with some steam afterwards in the heat gun. This one's laying pretty smooth. We probably don't have to do much adjustment to it. So there's all that. Now that this is set, we'll grab the frame, start putting all this back together, okay? All right, now we got the frame back up here on the table. We're gonna go ahead and start putting this back on. So back to all of our screws and 9 million connections underneath. So here we go. All right, I'm gonna lean this back, tilt the sucker here. Take this. So this tail, the carpet tail, is going to go back behind this metal bar here. So it's easy to just, when you're putting it on, just kind of snake it back through there. And there's a lot of sharp edges on that piece, so here we go, as long as we're started there. Okay, so now we're going to this clip there, that's going to go there. Okay, so now, okay. What's funky about the seat is there's not a bolt or anything that holds it back on. It just literally sits on this back frame. It's got these big plastic pieces to kind of keep from metal on metal, so you don't hear a rattle or something, scratching. So first, we'll start hooking our connections. And we'll kind of, when we started, we went from the top and it worked all the way back. We're gonna go in reverse order. We're gonna go from the bottom, we're gonna work our way to the top because we wanna have some separation here, be able to move around. So we don't want these connected yet. We don't want these all screwed on because we want to be able to move and get, have some room to get to everything. So we'll start at the bottom here. Here we go. Green goes to gray. No, not really. Green to green. So green to green, remember all these are different. They can't you can't put the wrong one in a different spot. So there's our green connection here. Here's our gray. Gonna go right there. This guy's gonna clip there. Work our way over here. We'll get this guy, slide in there. Okay, this piece, remember we pried this off the frame, so this one's gonna hook in here. These two tabs are gonna push in there and there. Ow. Easier said than done. Let me get my needle nose real quick. I'm going to kind of pinch these, since they've been pulled out, they're kind of fanned out some. I'm going to kind of pinch these back down a little bit. Okay, now, remix. Here we go. Voila. Okay, perfect. Here's our yellow connection. Double catch rig. It's going to snap on, and then this will pull back. Push back on that, locks into place, okay? This guy here comes over to this one with the red hook. Push that on, and this red thing will push down to lock in, okay? That's locked in now. Okay, now, start our motors. Let's start with this bottom motor here. So, where's this guy? This is gonna be, boom, 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 those go there. Here we go, okay. Okay. Okay, so I can see how this has like a 90-degree bend in it. So that's gonna fall easily to there. Whereas this one, if I'm having to hook this around to there, it's twisting all kinds of funky ways. So that's probably gonna be this motor. And this one is gonna be this motor. Just because of the bend in the wire, it's easy to tell which one goes back. So that snaps there, clip. This guy goes up yonder here. Let's look from the top down, let's see. Okay, it slides this way. There we go. Something's hanging me up here. Let me get this out of the way. There we go. Okay. Now I'll put this one back on. Okay. Those two are money right here. Finish up our motors. That clipped. These three go to our big module. Let's see if there's anything else we need to hook for the module. These go to our side control panel. That goes to module. Okay, looks like we're at this guy. So, this is the guy that goes on here. 2 screws in the bottom, one there, one here. These go into that hook there, okay? So, let's go ahead and hook our power connections up to it. So we got, there's 2 slots here. You get this one and this one, okay? This blue one is gonna go, I believe it went to this side here. Maybe it was there. We'll see which way it fits. Okay, I guess it's gonna go to this one here because you can see the little notch there. That's gonna line up in that little slot right there. So this should, boom. This side, the notch is on the right side, so this is not gonna go there. White one there. Clip, clip. Black one there. Voila. Okay. When we get this back up, we'll hook this one on. So we want to hook these through first. Up in there, seat that. Okay. Both those are hooked. This will roll down. And let's see here. I want to get in the way of these guys. Actually, let's go for, let me hook these first. Let me get these guys on because I don't want them just to be in the way. So we're going to line that tab up into here. And if it's not just rolling on real easy, not pushing up, grab the seat pan and pull it up. Okay, that rocked in there. Let me grab my screws and my T30 bit. Okay, we got so now just finger tight that rig for a second. Probably need to not finger tight that. I need to set both of them before I run a screw. Okay, so that's in. Line both those up. Okay, perfect. Okay, now we're both in. Now come back to screw. Those. Just give it a little shot. Okay. Now back to this guy. Pull this up out of the way. Get these guys to hook in. Okay, now okay, sweet. First side, just gonna get one screw, my extension on. Now the second one's got the ground wire on it, okay? So I'm gonna take my screw, stick it through the ground wire like so. Tighten that up. Tighten this guy. There we go. Voila, there's that. Okay, we got our last connection here. Is this big guy that hooks in here, that just pushes in, clip. There it is. Now when we're putting the wire back in it, we need to, I know it's kind of jumping ahead because this is what you're gonna do when you're in the truck, but this will line up, okay? And then when you push it in, this should, when you're pulling this forward, this should be going in, all the way in, and it'll clip. Make sure it clips, okay? Make sure both sides go in, because it'll clip, and then if it clips, this thing won't come back down. So let's do that, undo it. So if this is not all the way back, if this is, you know, halfway forward, sometimes, yeah, it catches there, because there's some grooves here that's got to line up with it, and these grooves go into these notches in the blue deal, okay? So if those don't line up, then it won't catch the little nubs on the end to get it locked, to lock it all the way in. So make sure it catches that, those catch, and then this, when this is going forward, that clip is going in and it locks, okay? All right, get that out of the way. Okay, last clip on top, that one goes in. That's in Kind of smoke through it one more time, make sure I don't see any loose wires anywhere. Those look good. That's in. That's got a motor too. That motor's got one. Those three in. That's floorboard. That's top. We got our ground wire on. All right, looking pretty money. Now we're going to go to our plastic side panel and get that rig on. So let's do that from this side. Okay. Okay, these are connections to this. Okay, this guy here, when it's, you know, as we talked about when we were taking it apart, if it's in there, there's not enough room between here and there for the clip to go in. So with it out, and these are pretty easy. There's just a little push tab there, there. These just kind of just spring loaded kind of. They just pinch in, okay, and it pops out of here. Really simple, real simple. Have it out, go ahead and hook it into here. That's snapped in. Okay, so we're good to go there. Now we've got 1 hook, 2 hook, 3 hook, okay? That's going to go into this guy here, this little guy right there, and what would have been right here, but the little piece broke off that used to be here. This guy used to be like so, okay? But that's broken off. But hopefully yours isn't broken and it's there. So those 3 things slide in there. So this is going to start forward, line those up, slide back. Our back push tab is going to hook in on the underneath side of the frame, 1 screw. We're ready to roll. So let's put this guy on. Snaps into place. Put these, let's go. There's wires underneath. Hook this connection in. Okay, those are there. Go from the back side here. Okay, this way there's room for this to come back, and this piece can hang off the back side. So we're going to line up all those metal pieces with the little hook holes in the seat. If you want, I may take this little guy off here. Just get him out of the way a little easier. Okay, so starting with it forward, we're going to line up all those metal bars. Pull back. All right, those are all in. Okay, so you can snap this piece on, the piece that's closest to the seat. That'll snap, that'll line right back up in there. Pop that in place. Now we're gonna sit on there, it's not gonna move. This piece will snap back in. We got our 1 little spring tab that pops on. We got 1 more screw left. This is going to be our T20 on the side. When you're putting the screw in that's going into plastic, it still has metal thread that's still threaded into the steel of the frame, but it's got a plastic, ring around it that's part of the frame, part of the plastic piece here. You don't want to torque the hell out of it because you can break that plastic. So I'm going to turn this thing down to 1, so it's not going to it's not going to over tighten it and break that plastic piece. So we'll roll this little guy in here. Here we go. Okay, that's good. You're going to leave this piece off until you get to the truck, okay? Because your seat belt has got to go back through here. So the seat belt go through here. You got your T50 bolt, goes to that hole. Seat belt feeds right up through there. When you put this panel back on, all you see is the seat belt going through that slit, okay? So that's what is involved in that. Snap that sucker back on. Boom, boom. All right. Jeep Grand Cherokee 2011 through 2019. Driver's side bottom install. We'll have another video show you how to do the top. But this gives you the whole walkthrough on the bottom. Here at the seat shop, all of our stuff matches factory original. So when your bottom wears out and your top's still in great shape, you can replace just the driver's side bottom, and we guarantee it to match with the top original factory cover. You can put one piece in, leave that one, okay? So it's not a full interior or redoing something custom. It's whatever came off the assembly line, we're gonna match it identical. You can put a single piece in, match up with the top. Everything's matched off VIN numbers. You're not sure what color you got or what options you got or whatever. Give us a call with the VIN number, okay? We can run through the VIN. We can tell everything you need. We can tell you the color we need that you need that's gonna match your truck. Go to our website, you put in your year, make, model, your edition, and it'll really spell it out really easy so you can find the exact seat. It shows all the options. If you have heated and cooled, it's really easy to select which ones you got, and then we can always double check and verify with the VIN as well to make sure we're sending you the right cover. So mainly trucks, SUVs, Ford, Chevy, Dodge, some Toyota, Jeep, we got some Mustangs, but mainly trucks, SUVs, full-size stuff, all factory matched original, a piece at a time. Do a driver bottom and a passenger top, or your kid draws a smiley face on the back of the seat, you can put a new top on, whatever it is, you can buy a la carte, whatever you need. If you got any questions, give us a call, 214-710-2565. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram. That's it. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.